What up, what up, what up? Get ready to chime in. Good morning, good morning. My name is Paul B. He's Buddi3 Da Gawd. This is First Sky Omaha in the morning.
Thanks in the morning.
Man, stepped on the line. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
This is Buddy Luther Buddy Vandross.
Yeah.
Wednesday, August 7th, 2024, midweek. And getting the week started off here in August. It's cooled down yesterday, so that's good. It's supposed to heat up again a little bit today. But pretty moderate weather. I call 85 out here pretty moderate. So
okay, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
it's
not bad at all. But appreciate you guys coming on through again. If you don't know, we broadcast Mondays and Wednesdays. We're not broadcasting Fridays anymore, but we are going to be releasing some news pieces Friday. So look out for that.
Excited.
And say good.
Excited about that.
You know, I'm very excited about all the stuff that we've been working on here lately and getting to the next level. And I appreciate all of you that's helped us do that too. We've had an influx of people, that reoccurring supporters that are coming in. So we appreciate everybody, the $10 people, $25 people, $50 people coming on in and supporting us, reoccurring each month so we can keep this going each month. Man, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? We got a different model going on here, so we're not teaming up with everybody, but we are teaming up with you, the people. It's for the people, by the people, we the people.
We the people.
Yep. So appreciate y'all coming in today. This is the August 7th, as we said. Already 7:02. If you believe in the concept of time, and I hope that you take us with you when you go. You can always Bluetooth to your car, let YouTube play. Do us a favor as well. Share the show, especially if you're on YouTube or especially if you're on Facebook. That's the easiest way. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share the show to your page. We get as many people in talking as we can. In the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and jump into what we're going to be talking about today. I know, Buddy, you like to start with some community updates.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is something I haven't really seen on the news, actually, as I, scoured through the outlets and prepared for the show. But I've been hearing it on the radar, in the social media spheres, if you will, about the pools closing. I'm hearing about the pools close early. Yeah. Now, again, I haven't seen much in the news, but from what I'm seeing in the comments, it might have something to do with budget. People are saying that Parks and Rec don't really have the funds to maintain the pools. But yeah, y'all just let me know. Have you seen the pools closing? Is this something you're seeing? What are your thoughts about this? Especially as we come into August, one of the hottest months of the year. We just had, a heat index last week. So again, what are your thoughts? Also, in light of, a few brothers and sisters passing away in lakes as of recently, Senator Wayne mentioned, people in our community not being the strongest of swimmers, the history of pools being redlined, just kind of thinking. Any thoughts on that?
Is Pillin playing chess again? Is he getting ready to make a pool tax happen?
I don't know. Or is it Mean Gene? We'll see. But yeah, that was just a thought, something I heard in the wind. So I definitely would love to hear if anybody has any more information about that in the chat. But also going on in the neighborhood, as I mentioned earlier, Big Mamas will be doing a food giveaway today. Big shout out to whoever posted that on Friends of First Sky Omaha. Again, the group page on Facebook. Yeah. So again, that's going down a little later on this afternoon. Big Mamas giving away some food. So yeah, I'm sure some of y'all might need that in the light of this storm. Also, as we mentioned, we'll have Kimara Snipes on a little later. Definitely looking forward to the National Night Out conversation. If any of you went out to that, I definitely would love to hear your take on it. Again, National Night Out is a national night out, as it states, with the community and police coming together to better build that relationship because, there's given the history, there's still a need for policing. There's still a need. If somebody break into your house, somebody steal your car, who you gonna call? It's not Ghostbusters. So, yeah.
Don't call me.
Also, Don't call me. Also, kids going back to school. So yeah, want to know how you feeling about that. Marlon Harrison, looking at you. How's things going? What are some changes? I'm hearing rumblings about no phones in schools. How are parents? How are teachers feeling about that? I definitely would like to talk about that more in the second hour. If anybody has any input, but also again, as we mentioned, we have a lot of things happening with us here on First Sky Omaha, getting very close to releasing our newsletter. So big shout out to everybody who has already signed up for that. If we have your email, thank you. If we do not, definitely check us out at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Again, that's firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Just send us an email saying that you're interested in joining the newsletter list, and we'll add you. And yeah, you can be looking out for that very soon. Also, website, shirts for sale, more news, pieces, a lot of things coming. So again, we're very, very excited about all the things going on here with First Sky Omaha. Again, please definitely stay tuned in. If you're not already, join the Friends of First Sky Omaha group page on Facebook. Again, that's Friends of First Sky Omaha group page on Facebook. Also, we are focusing more on YouTube, and we'll be placing some exclusive content and some other pieces there. So again, you can always check us out on our YouTube page as well, First Sky Omaha on YouTube. Make sure you share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Stay locked in with everything we have going on. So in the meantime, between time, Paul, how you feeling about those things? Anything going on in the community that you're seeing that I might have missed?
Now we've been covering it pretty well as far as some of the things that have been standing out. Of course, I've been paying more attention to Sherman Wells' page. We're gonna have him back on
Hey,
the show, catch up with him. But brother Sherman Wells is doing a good job of really kind of ear to the street, talking to the people, being amongst the people, and coming back and reporting on some stuff that's going on in the hood. So we really appreciate everybody's efforts. Same thing with Kimara Snipes. I see Kimara's in the chat. Good morning to you. Can't wait to speak to you here in a few minutes. Kimara is also another person who's in the community, coming back, taking notes, coming back and reporting on what's going on. So I feel like we stay pretty abreast of it, but we can always use more. This is the reason why we're trying to build out this whole idea of citizen journalism,
yeah, man.
so that we can get as many people relaying information as possible, because we can't be in every space. So if you're in a space that you feel like is being underrepresented, that's the time to reach out to us here at First Sky Omaha in a big way. Even if you don't know how to do journalism and write and so on and so forth, we can really kind of help you put some of those ideas together, because this is what we're building here. We're building this ability to be able to help people become citizen journalists. So you have access to a space, you can tell a story, and we can help you turn that into a news piece, and get that out to the rest of the world. Get that out to basically to the rest of the world. So
Yeah,
we're
man.
hyper local focused, but this information goes out everywhere. So
And we do have people around the world paying attention. Like we've had presidential, candidates. We've had Kamala Harris's husband on, Mr. Imhoff. There's people we have an international audience actually. So big shout out to everybody who's tuned in, who's supporting. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. And before we jump into today's headlines, I do also want to remind us of a couple other community haps. Of course, this Friday is the celebration of life of Mr. Crumbly. So if you can make that, definitely do that. Also, today we'll be celebrating brother DeAndre Wells of the Wells family, the House of Wells. Again, a superhero saved that individual. I don't know if it was a brother or sister, but again, the person who was caught in a burning car, he
yeah,
busted the door, peeled it back, and saved him. So again, I believe there will be a celebration event going on to honor him today as well. So yeah,
shout out
get
to
out, get
Sherman Wells.
active. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, big shout out to everybody who's out on the streets, boots to the roots. We appreciate you. In the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and dive into today's headlines. Again, a lot of things not just happening in the community, but in the news that we should be talking about, especially in politics. Again, the things happening impacting our daily lives. And yeah, we should be on top of it. We should definitely be on top of it because we have a role to play. But also some other things happening on our bottom line, man. Kellogg's is closing, and I have a lot of thoughts about this. I have family members who worked at Kellogg's, and there are very few entities, corporations that come into a community and support a community the way that Kellogg's did. We will definitely be talking about how important this is, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, Kellogg's will be closing its Omaha plant very soon. I believe 26 is the reported date. So look out for that. Also, City Council apparently passed the Code of Conduct. Again, we've talked about this on the show. There's a Code of Conduct ordinance that was proposed and now has since been passed, and a lot of people feeling like that has something to do with North Omaha's representative, Miss Sister Juanita Johnson. Put some respect on her name. So we'll definitely dive into that. Actually, a pretty good article coming out of Nebraska Examiner. Shout out to Miss Cindy Gonzalez for always putting down the good work. So again, definitely looking forward to that conversation. Also, some other things to get into, as Paul mentioned earlier in the show. A lot of people have their power restored, but still thousands without power. Also, there were some resources available as far as debris cleanup, places to get rid of your food, and then also some places to get some food, as I mentioned. So we'll be talking about that as well. And then also some Omaha connections, some Nebraska connections on the national level, as Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz has been selected as Kamala Harris's running mate. And there's definitely some conversations to be had around that. Then, of course, Sister Kimara Snipes join us a little later on in the show. And we'll be getting into a lot with her. So again, this is First Guy Omaha in the morning. We're here live. Yeah, Paul B, what's the word, man?
Yeah, man. I appreciate everybody that's joined us this morning. Just to remind you and let you know, we for the chat chimers and the people that are friends of First Sky Omaha, we started 10 minutes early today, and we've been doing that every show. Started about 6:50 just to get in and get our hellos and how you doings out of the way, so we can do a hard 7 o'clock start when it comes to doing the news, and that's why we're handling things this way now. We are definitely taking comments throughout the show, but we're going to have more discussion in the second hour. So if you really want to jump into a real conversation, then stick around to the second hour after 8 o'clock if you believe in the concept of time, so we can do that. And we really appreciate everybody that's hanging around doing that. And of course, special guest Kimara Snipes coming on here shortly, so definitely stay tuned for that. I see Whitney Richardson in the chat giving us a good morning. Appreciate you. Rick Fulton back around. I haven't seen that name in a minute. Appreciate you coming on back in. He says, I've been meaning to say kudos to Senator McKinney on taking control of the Inland Port Authority and pushing back on the silly airport park plan. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to, appreciate you giving some praise to Senator McKinney doing the work there. So appreciate that very much. About the pools shutting down, Sue Kessler Hagan is saying, I'm guessing staffing. A lot of the staff at pools are students. So that could be the reason why they're shutting some of the pools down as well. Don't have the staff to kind of really hang with that. Marlon Harrison has been watching the Olympics last couple of days. We've been trying to do that too. Shooting competition in America came in last place, and social media was making jokes on how we come in last place with the shooting competition. That's interesting. Much gunplay is going on in America, and we come in last in the shooting competition. Interesting stuff.
Yeah. Actually, I got my USA soccer jersey on.
There you go. I had to order that Snoop pen.
Man.
Snoop Dogg getting
you see Flavor Flav out there too.
Man, Flav out here supporting water polo teams and stuff. That's what's up, man. Somebody said in the chat last week, I think it was Sean McCarthy. He was like, the Olympics is all Snoop Dogg and Flavor Flav, bro. Like they're representing out there.
Pretty much.
Rick Fulton giving us an update on some of the areas that there's no power still. It says no power Loveland area north of Pacific. So again, there's still people with power out. OPPD is still working hard to try to make that happen and get in there. So if you have family members, check on them. Everybody's power's not back yet. We still got to look out for each other for sure.
Man, big time.
So yeah. So appreciate everybody that's coming on in and jumping into the chat. I see a good number of people doing that. Do us a favor, share the show. We'll go ahead and jump into a story before we get up to our special guests. So let's go ahead and jump into the agenda. What's on the agenda first, buddy?
Yeah. Well, again, we don't really do Fridays anymore, so our extensive apps has gone away, and we're working on something else with that. But there is a app that I want everybody to know about coming up very soon. It's tied to a story that we've actually been talking about as far as the Juvenile Justice Center. Again, there is a forum coming up on August 10th, so individuals will have an opportunity to speak on this issue, have your voices heard. And again, this is actually a call to action. This isn't even really just us reporting. We're asking you to show up and support and really voice your concerns. Let's just call it what it is, because there has been a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, a lot of just controversy around what's going on with the still closed Juvenile Justice Center. Again, $27 million spent by Douglas County. Again, specifically the county deciding to spend $27 million on this Juvenile Justice Center that has yet to be open. That's also causing taxpayers, again, about $177,000 in just maintenance and upkeep for it to not be open, and is reported to cost an extra $20,000 in tax dollars every month. And yet here we are, struggling in a special session trying to figure out how to change the tax situation and find some more dollars for the state. And here we have, city and county doing this with taxes. So it is very, very interesting what's going on with this situation. Again, it has not closed. And we actually got some more information on Monday with our conversation with Senators Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney. Put some respect on their names. I believe it was Senator Wayne who mentioned that the county didn't even get approval from the state to move forward with this project. And it has been since reported that it will possibly not be used for its intended purpose. What it will be used for, we don't know. We will definitely see. But again, there's definitely a lot of questions as far as what's going on with our youth. I didn't really get into it with this Flatwater Free Press article, but as far as where we are now, again, while this building is not open, students are not students, but youth. I mean, they should be students, but youth are currently still overcrowded, mind you, in DCYC. So it's not just the adult prisons that are overcrowded, but also our youth facilities are overcrowded across the state. And also, it looks like the county board approved a plan in October to open the downtown facility for kids charged as juveniles while continuing to hold kids charged as adults at DCYC. But of course, the board paused that plan after learning it will cost another $4 to $7 million. So again, this whole project is definitely looking like a tax money vacuum, if you will. And also, there's not many other options. Of course, we talked about the Radius campus. There are a few other mental health facilities, but as far as juveniles, youth getting caught up in the justice system, not many options, and it does not look like it will be improving at least any plans, any ideas anytime soon. So again, August 10th is your opportunity to speak up, get out. Again, this is going down at Concord Mediation Center. Is that what that says?
Mediation.
2910 84th Street. Again, that's 2910 South 84th Street this Saturday, August 10th, between 9:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m.
And remember, this is not just about the juvenile justice, the juvenile center that's coming up. This is a plan that they're having for all the juvenile justice in as a whole. Says we encourage all community members to attend one of these 3 meetings to assist Douglas County in identifying what our priority items should be for our next youth services plan. So this is a whole plan that they're putting together. And now this won't be just about the Juvenile Justice Center. This will be a whole plan for our youth that we definitely need to have you speak on. Everybody speak on if they can. So this is the last one that you can go to Saturday, August 10th. Again, 9:30 to 11:30, Concord Mediation Center, 2910 South 84th Street, Omaha, Nebraska. Highly encourage everybody to go and check this out and speak up in Douglas County. Speak up on the plan.
Especially if you have any information or are directly connected to any community programs, because that was a big thing with this whole facility. It was supposed to be tied to programs, but in the article, they're trying to link to COVID-19 and schools closing and that throwing a wrench in students actually being involved in these kind of programs, these programs evolving. So again, if you have any information, any knowledge about community programs that could benefit our youth, definitely pull up to that.
Love that. Von Chapman in the chat is asking, ask Commissioner Chris Rogers what the problems are. He brought the Juvenile Justice Center to Omaha. So there's a lot of questions that we can be asking, not just at this forum, but also our elected officials about what's going on as well. So that's something that I've been thinking of too. Brother Rogers has been on the show before, and I'd love to reach out to him and see if he can come on and tell us what's going on there as well. Now that we got that information from the senators last Monday, it was really interesting to hear that they might not even be using that facility at all. So what are they going to use it for? So
big time.
Want to lose in the chat saying, I would like to know what will happen to the money designated to the Inland Port Authority if they don't proceed with the project. Will that money come back to North Omaha, or will it go into the city's general fund? Very good question. We can ask that question to the senators as well, because I'm sure that they'll know. I do believe I don't want to speak on it because I have a vague memory about what that is, and I want to say that quite yet. But we can definitely ask and come back with that information. Appreciate the question.
Big time. And actually, I that question kind of tees up for the next article because the Kellogg's closing situation, I want to put that in the context of what's going on with the ARPA funds, talking about jobs. That was the whole idea of the ARPA funds, was to create jobs, to create opportunities, to bring business to our community. And now one of the, large job providers in our community is closing. We gotta talk about it again. Kellogg's is closing, but we're about 15 minutes into the hour. Let's take a quick break, kind of smell the coffee beans a little bit, And when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Big shout out to everybody in the chat, letting your mind be free, letting your voice be heard in this next conversation. If you or anyone you knew or know worked for Kellogg's, would definitely love to hear your take on what impact that had in their lives, because I know that helped my family out big time when they worked there. So again, we'll be talking about that and more on the other side of the break. First guy Omaha in the morning, Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd.
Yo. Check it out. I see Sunchild in the house. What's up?
Hey.
Good morning. Stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back.
Economic exploitation and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet.
Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, brought to you by Drunk Ship Coffee.
Hey.
Go to drunkshipcoffee.com and order your beans. They have they are sourced from a very special farm in Ethiopia, one farm, and that's the birthplace of coffee. We're figuring out too. I didn't know that before, so there it is, a birthplace of coffee and a smooth, sophisticated roast. Go ahead and go to drunkshipcoffee.com. I appreciate everybody who's done that so far. Got their drunk ship on, their clothing, the gear, everything. They've been getting down with it. So I appreciate everybody. I'm just looking for the thing, but I can't find it because found it. Here we go. There you go. Yeah, man. Black-owned family company that is sourcing from one farm in Ethiopia. Shout out to them. Drunkshipcoffee.com. Get your order on, get your bags, and get your grinder, because this is going to come in the whole bean, which is the best way to get your coffee for sure. You don't know what to be putting in them grounds, man, for real.
Man. Cutting it, stepping on it.
Man. Yeah, bro.
Talk about that Colombian roast. Okay.
Man. If you want to be a sponsor of First Sky Omaha too, man, hit us up at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Just send us an email saying you're interested, and somebody will get back to you and we can talk about it. So this is how we're trying to sustain this whole situation. So hit us up. Rome's Review says hit the like button. That's another thing to do, please, as well. Go to YouTube. This is where most of the conversation is happening. Be on YouTube, like and subscribe. Brother Pena in the house, appreciate you coming on in. He's got some things he's saying too. He's like, because the workers stood up for the rights, it's imperative that we save these jobs. Which job?
Yeah, man. Talking about Kellogg's. Let's go ahead.
Kellogg's, right?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and dive into it again. Yeah. When I saw this news again, big shout out to everybody who's posting that on Friends of First Sky Omaha on Facebook, the group page, because that's where we have the conversation. The conversations continue after and before and in between the shows, and this is a conversation that definitely should continue on the show. Again, Kellogg's has been one of the, and this is just Buddi3 Da Gawd speaking, just really quickly before I dive into the actual story. There's a few companies that just stick out when you think of companies that actually build communities. There's actually companies that build schools and houses and things just for their employees, and these turn into towns and cities and whole communities. You think about the impact that Ford had on, Detroit. You think about, these types of jobs. Kellogg's is up there. Mm-hmm. And especially in the Black community, a lot of our grandparents and elders either worked in the packing plant or for the rail company. Like, these are the type of companies that build families, that build wealth, that drive communities. And right now, when I think about the Omaha area, I think about Kellogg's and Union Pacific.
Yep.
Those are two huge, and now we have lost or in the process of losing. Like Guillermo will tell it, there might be some opportunity to save these jobs. But again, the loss of Kellogg's is not a small thing, especially in our community. And when you talk about, and I will add on what's going on with the ARPA funds and the search for jobs and how that's looking. But right now, Kellogg's announced again, this is coming from WOWT. I know, Sherman, don't come from me. I'm just here. I'm just the messenger, man. But again, this coming from WOWT. Kellogg's announced to its employees Tuesday that it will be closing its Omaha plant after more than 60 years. In a news release to 6 News, the cereal maker confirmed that it plans to begin a phased reduction in production beginning in late 2025 and fully close the plant in 2026. Now, again, the plant is currently located at 96th and F Streets. And actually, soon after the announcement, around 7:15 a.m., news cameras caught a stream of cars with employees leaving the plant. A former union president, Dan Osborne, who apparently negotiated the contract in 2021, said this will end 500 union jobs and at least 100 management jobs. He goes on to say people are extremely upset. Of course, you would be if a lot of these people have dedicated their entire lives working here, and people are proud of the name and what they've done here. So it's unfortunate that it has to end this way. Osborne said the plant runs about 27 products and will go down to 1 product in 2025. Despite the union being frustrated with the plant's decision, they aren't giving up without a fight. So again, as Guillermo Pena is saying in the chat, we cannot let these jobs go away. We must protect and save these jobs. Kenneth Merritt, who's the new union president, went on to say, if we could keep all the jobs is what we want to do. We need to show the company why closing the plant will be a bad move. The union also represents Bimbo Bakeries as well, who I believe also closed, if I'm not mistaken. I had a cousin working for them. But I continue. Its Bellevue plant announced the shutdown, in May and stopped operations with hundreds of jobs lost. Greater Bellevue Area Chamber of Commerce community leaders are taking action. Those looking for information on the Greater Bellevue Area Jobs of Commerce job fair can call 402-898-3000. Again, that's 402-898-3000. Also, Mayor Jean Stothert is speaking up on the situation. She says, Kellogg's notified me of their plan to close the Omaha plant at 7:42 a.m. today. Just kind of sprang it on them with an email to the mayor's hotline and a copy of the company's news release. Kellogg's had not communicated anything previously about the potential to leave Omaha, so this announcement came as quite a shock. I'm certainly disappointed that Kellogg's would make such a significant announcement this way. So again, a lot of people shocked, a lot of people blindsided, and a lot of people just kind of hanging in the wind, man. Again, a lot of jobs. Again, this is a good paying job. This is not just any job. This is one of them good jobs that you get, and now a lot of people are losing that income.
Yeah, man. I have family members that have been working for Kellogg for a while. I got everybody in the community. Got somebody. If you're not directly associated, somebody that works for Kellogg. It's been huge in the community for real.
Yeah, man.
So this ain't good. People in the chat, Kimara Snipes says, she says, my friend Dad just retired from Kellogg's. Thank God. Man, and got out before it went down. Also, Mama God is saying, my son's lives the shutdown of Tulsa. It is hard. So there's companies shutting down all over the place. Tulsa out in Texas. What was it? Was it
Tesla?
I'm sorry, Tesla out in Texas.
Yep.
Shut down. And it's got me thinking about ConAgra, the ConAgra facility that shut down too. That was kind of huge news when that happened as well. Mama God also saying what you were saying about Bimbo closing a few months ago. A lot of these manufacturing jobs, man. I got a friend that works out in Iowa that just got blindsided by a consolidation and moving the job overseas as well. Like lots of consolidations and stuff going on around here in a big way. Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat is saying the question is, it's not going to show. Okay, there it is. No, it's because something else is coming in. Boy, this tech. The question is, why are they moving to states like Michigan and Pennsylvania, 2 battleground states, by the way, instead of staying in Omaha? Me wondering why, certain Silicon Valley companies are moving to Texas. I mean, these are all kinds of, there's a lot of questions here.
I'm actually seeing in the chat that some people are saying that the plan is moving to Mexico, which, brings up a whole other set of thoughts, a whole other rabbit hole that I won't get into deeply, but I will say it is interesting. There has been a lot of major corporations moving their plants to, Mexico, Indonesia, to other areas. But yet people try to act like people coming here to take the jobs. Like the jobs are leaving.
I've been leaving since the 80s, bro.
Man, since the 80s. So yeah, it's a thought.
Wanda
So
Lewis has a really great thought. Sometimes these companies revamp and come back under a different name and brand. They do away with unions, pensions, and other benefits. Those benefits has become a thing of the past. Can you
man,
imagine a company that's going to shut down and then start back up so they don't have to pay pensions and stuff like that? I don't put it past them, man. I don't put it past them. They weigh that on paper. It might be on paper a better financial situation for them to do that, so they just might do it. How messed up
man,
is
but
that?
exactly how messed up is that? Because where does that leave the people? Guillermo Opinion kind of giving us a glimpse into the reality of these types of situations. He says it goes back to the Farm Bill and NAFTA. My family lost the Dickey's Cat Factory down in Texas, and we had to move. We lost our lots and everything.
Wow,
So
wow.
again, people's livelihood being uprooted. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate everybody that's weighing in on this. Anybody in the chat work for Kellogg
Oh,
or was working for Kellogg? Go ahead.
I'm reading reading Mama God's comment. She says the cousin that lost the job at Bimbo a couple months ago literally just got hired at Kellogg's this Monday, and
Ooh,
now he's out of the job again.
ooh, man.
It's rough out here, man. It's rough. And again, I will put this into the context of what's going on with the ARPA funds. Again, the whole idea of the North Omaha, South Omaha Recovery Act was to bring jobs to Omaha. And I don't know, how's that looking? Did anybody even get any money from the DED yet?
I believe some people did. Yeah, how's that looking? I mean, we just talked to Senator McKinney last Monday. I was just thinking about that as a soundbite of him just being like, we just had to deal with DED and that was a disaster. Like
Man. I mean, the business park was supposed to be the, one of the big job bringers to the community, and that's not looking good.
yeah, that's kind of up in the air too for sure. Wanda Lewis was
So
asking, where's that money going if it doesn't happen?
exactly. So again, I'm looking at the full picture of what's going on. Going in the wrong direction, losing jobs.
Yep. We'll talk more about it in the second hour, 8 o'clock. This is one of those things that we're going to probably get in deep conversation about because I think it's a really heavy thing, man. There's many people that posted about Kellogg's shutting down in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I knew it was going to be a huge deal.
Oh yeah.
So if you work for Kellogg or got family members that work for Kellogg, let us know how this affects your family. We'd love to hear about it. We'll talk about it in the second hour, and we'll also put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. That's where the conversation continues when we're not live. And then we get a lot of information from there. We appreciate you guys putting that information there. So that's what's up. Sue
Exactly.
Castle Hagen says, but we got all this happening, but we're getting that all important streetcar though.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
funny.
Oh yeah, but to that point though, I'm also thinking, Kellogg's didn't just spring this up on the employees, spring it up on the city too. Like the
Man,
city's actively trying to bring business and become a tourist location, and the city is actively trying to grow. Like Omaha is pushing for the major city feel within the next 5 to 10 years. So losing jobs of this magnitude, I'm sure they're not happy about. So I'm kind of curious to see how Mean Gene and the team will respond.
well, she's already responded that she was surprised that this happened. So this
Yep.
happened without her knowing about it. So we'll see
Yep.
what they plan on doing. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Call Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you Chad Chalmers Ghost listeners and monitoring spirits.
Hey, we see you.
We see you out there. See you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Buddy will be right back. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for chiming into the chat. with all of your comments. Amy H. in the chat saying, obviously the city is not being proactive by checking in and solidifying connections with these large job providers. So there you go. A very precise comment there on what's going on with the city. If this was a surprise to everybody, then, man, what was that all about, right?
Man, quite the surprise. I mean, it seemed like they sprang it on everybody at like 7:50 in the morning. Like 7:50. Like people were waking up to this news.
Yeah. Everybody in the city seemed like.
Man.
Again, if you work for Kellogg, if you got family that works for Kellogg, if this has affected your life in our neighborhoods, this is very specific to the East Side. As a matter of fact, like Buddy said, this is one of those companies that has built community here.
Yeah, man. Very
important in a lot of our communities. So if this happened to you, let us know. We'll talk more about it in the second hour. Special guest Kimara Snipes coming up here shortly. So before we speak to her, let's jump into some of the other subjects that we got on the agenda today. Thanks to you putting things in Friends of First Sky Omaha, and also the YouTube community page that's kind of building up as well too. You might want to check that out. So definitely check us out. Like and subscribe on YouTube always. We're trying to build this up. Most of the conversation is happening there on YouTube. So go over there and like and subscribe if you will. In the meantime, between time, what's up next, buddy?
Excuse me. Man, we definitely got to get into it. It broke down yesterday. It happened. It went through. It passed. Talking about the code of conduct and city council. Yeah, man. Yeah. You ain't know where I was going. Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
Hot mess.
Yeah. Again, I'll start with this. Teamwork is still making the dream work, man. Shout out to Guillermo Pena. Shout out to Brother Sherman Wells. Guillermo again posted the video of the city council. Streaming the city council meeting on Friends of First Sky. So if you want to go back, you can do that on the Facebook group page. Nice. But yeah, man, that's teamwork really making the dream work. The dream of citizens coming together and being the fourth estate, being the watchful eye that the state needs. And holding the powers that be, if you will, accountable. So again, shout out to everybody who was checking that in, tuned in with that situation. Oh man, Anthony Rogers, right? Trying to correct me. He says, stop calling it city council and call it what it is, a kangaroo court. And that's what this new ordinance is kind of looking like that. Again, if you haven't caught wind of what's going on or haven't been paying attention to what's happening in the city council, again, there has been some tensions, some controversy, some back and forth between specifically Councilwoman Juanita Johnson, the North Omaha representative, and several other not only council members, but also staff under Mayor Gene Stother. So much so that it's gotten to the point where her staff has actually been instructed to be able to not meet with Councilwoman Juanita Johnson. They were excused from meetings that she would be there. They haven't really been communicating well with her or at all again. And now here we are with City Council approving 2 ordinances just yesterday aimed at regulating council members' conduct. And let's just call it what it is, Miss Juanita Johnson's conduct. One ordinance establishes a code of conduct for council members. It gives the council the authority to discipline members for a variety of offenses, such as using profane language, cashing in on contracts before the council, or sexually harassing, verbally abusing, or threatening city employees. The discipline could range from a public censure to a formal call for resignation, expelling the member from a council meeting, or removing them from committee assignments. Pretty much everything that they've already done to Councilwoman Juanita Johnson. Such action would require 5 votes from the other council members after an investigation. The other ordinance that was passed on Tuesday will ask Omaha voters in November to approve a city charter amendment that would expand the council's power to remove a fellow council member. So again, not only are they looking to be able to discipline fellow council members, but if they're seeking the power to remove that council member, which could, if things continue, lead to the ousting of Councilwoman Juanita Johnson later this year due to tensions. But that will leave one of the most marginalized communities in the city without a city representative. So there you go.
Wow. I was looking at Friends of First Sky Omaha, I believe is on Sherman's page, and he was mentioning, what was going on here is kind of an attack. And it made me think back to that city council meeting that Anthony Rogers Wright told us to make sure we pay attention to. He was there speaking on it. He is yeah, like he said right here. He says we are about to witness the living manifestation of white fragility in said kangaroo court. If Miss Juanita blinks at a white employee the wrong way, she'll be brought up on charges.
Yep.
And I think that is really unfortunate because I kind of walked away from the situation thinking not going to happen. As a matter of fact, I remember us talking about this that day. There was so much opposition to it. There were so many people that were not about it. There's no way that we thought it can go through. I was surprised to see the article saying that it went through. I watched the proceedings that day. I saw people stand up that were saying, "Listen, we already got things in place for this. It's called voting. You don't need to further police the situation around here." And it just seemed to me like there was enough people that spoke up and enough opposition to this whole thing for it not to happen. So for it to happen, interesting. Wanda Lewis says, if it passed to go to a ballot vote for the people to decide, we got to remember that part.
Yep.
Be cautious and make sure you read how it will be written on the ballot. They might write it in a way where you might vote for it when you don't want to. So we
Hit you with
got
them double negatives.
yeah, man, for real. So this is not it's not passed yet. It's going to ballot. It's going to a vote. So this is now time for the people, especially the people that spoke up on this in the first place, to vote it down, because that's really what is that's the power is going to be in the hands of the people when it comes to this. So, but I feel like they're doing all this. They got all this energy here because they're they don't like how she has been acting and responding to them. And just that paternalism that I can't stand, rearing his ugly head again on this because they don't like she can get disrespected all the time in court, but she can't defend herself, say nothing back.
Because let's acknowledge the facts. We played the audio clip here on the show. They are belittling her. They are, using a very demeaning tone when they speaking to her, but she can't, I guess, speak up. It kind of feels like the angry black woman trope.
Big time. And,
big time.
For them to go through all this mess so that they can police that. Crazy.
Again, representation, because I do want to hammer home the point that this isn't just, petty personal beefs with in between council members. If this continues, this is our representation. This is the person that can, speak on our behalf at the city level, and that's being cut short. So we shouldn't just look at it as Juanita Johnson being cut short. We are all being cut short. If we want something to get done on our behalf at the city level, then usually we would go through Councilwoman Juanita Johnson. She would speak on our behalf, vote on our behalf, maybe try to get in tune with the mayor's staff. All that is done for. And it is very interesting that she was the lone vote against this. Everybody else voted for it.
They want the power to be able to speak up. This is just one of them things that's so blatantly obvious to people outside of our culture. Then I want you to really understand that point. It's so blatantly obvious. White men can come up there and holler and act a fool and do all kinds of stuff. And even within the situation, it's not so much that we agree with everything that she's doing all the time, but she is allowed to speak up and defend herself when she's not being respected in that space. And she's not being respected in that space because of who's in that space disrespecting her. That's why. That's why. You can't really blame somebody getting out of pocket when they responding to your mess. That's gaslighting to be trying to act like she's acting crazy just because she's just angry and acting crazy. She's responding to your treatment. She's responding to your treatment. So
and we're not the only ones who's seeing this. Big shout out to Nebraska Examiner, always getting it right. Cindy Gonzalez, especially doing the good work.
Yep.
Yeah, headline reads: proposal could open door to Omaha City Council ousting one of its own. So again, we're all seeing the writing on the wall. Several people have chimed up, not just us, but also Senator Terrell McKinney put some respect on his name, told the city council that while he does not oppose codes of conduct in government, he believes they should be equitable, clearly defined, and just. He went on to say, while this ordinance may be long overdue, its introduction at this time, considering the current makeup of the council, feels like a targeted effort against a specific council member. This should be frowned upon and not allowed. Senator McKinney saying things just as Senator McKinney could. Again, very eloquent. Also, a shout out to Chat Chimer, friend of First Sky, and community activist, very active. Sister Cheryl Weston was also among opponents who said she viewed the code of conduct as a potential form of voter suppression. Again, our Councilwoman Juanita Johnson was fairly elected by the people of North Omaha, by her district. And now the council is circumventing that and finding a way to rid her because they don't like how she talks. Very interesting.
Miss
Again,
Cheryl Weston had to speak up during that meeting because they disrespected her while she was standing there talking. She had to get wild on them during the meeting.
So obviously there's certain members of the community that they just don't know how to talk to. So,
Brother Pena in the chat, real quick. I'm just going to highlight him. He says they literally ignore her and treat her like she's a second class citizen. Just say what they have in their mind. We're too much for them because the flavors that make it go. I like the fact he's always translating stuff that he's saying, but it's he's obviously watching what's going on. He's watching them treat her like she's second class citizens, treat her like she's not there. People can see this blatantly. So it's a this 6-to-1 thing. This the reason why they're going for this kind of total control. It's messed up. Anthony Rogers Rice says facts, and that's why we need to do away with this BS respectability politics that too many of us black leaders tell us to practice and call out white supremacy when it rears its ugly head. Yeah, like I said, we all got different styles of how we handle things and how we handle stuff, but what we got to handle sometimes is all the same. So I'm not gonna speak against her retaliating to try to gain back some honor and some respect when disrespect is being thrown her way. Not with it. You already know this. We watched this show long enough to know we're not with the disrespect at all.
Man, and it's not even behind closed doors in private. Like they're doing this openly, publicly, without regard, in front of her constituents. Not only did Cheryl Weston have to call them out, but also Brother Sherman Wells had to correct them and call them out. So again, community members are even having to step up and defend their elected official who represents them, who's not getting the respect. So this is ridiculous. But again, it has been passed. Hopefully, the voters will have some sense come November and not go as far as give the council the power to oust who it is they feel that they should oust. But again, we will see. Now, as of right now, it will take about 15 days for this ordinance to take place. So we should keep a close eye. If you can make it down to the next city council meeting, I urge you to do so.
Somebody who's always at city council meetings and every other meeting, it seems like, is waiting in the wings right now. We're going to bring her on as soon as she adjusts her curtains. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been looking forward to this. Miss Kimara Snipes is in the house. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, y'all.
Hey,
good morning.
I like your hair. It's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That green
It's
looks good on you.
a great way to be lazy.
A good way to be lazy, you said?
Yeah. Somebody said you cannot say lazy and talk about yourself, but that's just what I said.
Man, I'm saying,
Man.
the word don't match up at all. You're the hardest working woman in community business.
Man.
Sure.
Too many jobs, man.
You're so funny, buddy.
How are you doing? First of all, how's life?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired.
See?
She
I
tired.
am
also.
tired, y'all. I am
Man.
not playing. I'm ready for a good vacation that I don't have to do nothing.
Man.
Nothing. I'd like to go back out to Colorado where I didn't even have my phone.
See?
I would love to be
She
able
said,
to
do nothing. I got excited. Like, my shoulders started. Nothing.
All ready for a ride. Hit that open road.
I appreciate getting up in the morning. Sometimes I meet up with Sister Celeste. We go walking downtown.
Yeah.
About a good hour, and that's just the most. I always feel so good after that. I want to do it this morning, but I had a 7:45 appointment, so it was really important to me. So yeah, and I need that in my life because it's hard out here. Even I was listening just now, and as soon as y'all started talking about this issue with Councilwoman Johnson, like my anxiety is so high right now. I just sent y'all a report. I sent it to her because this labeling of Black women, like you were talking about, when I was in the corporate world, I didn't know that was a thing. Then I used to get written up often, hostile, all these different words. And I went to this
because they can't use uppity no more. That's why.
Well, I went to this thing with the chamber and the Urban League, and they presented on this report that they had done, and I just sent it to y'all. They're redoing it right now. And during that presentation, they showed like they had interviewed all these people of color, like why do these young Black people and people of color keep leaving Omaha, Nebraska? And they put quotes up that they had received, and every last one of them quotes was like something I had experienced, right? Like, you know, I'm always being accused of this. If it's more than two of us, it's a problem. Just all these different things, and the labeling thing too. And that's when I was like, wow, like this isn't just, you know, me being wrong at work. This is actually a thing that's used against us.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, and I thought about it instantly when this started happening with Juanita. And I called her about it, and I sent her the report too. Like, you know, this is a thing that is actually happening to you. You know what I'm saying? So it just made me think about that. And look at the cost of it. Look at all these people who don't want to be here because of
Yeah.
this culture
The town.
that exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious. What did Councilwoman Juanita Johnson have to say? Did she have any response to what has happened?
Not really. I think that, you know, Councilwoman Johnson has her own style, you know, and maybe she's somebody who has to take it on her own and process and things like that. But I will say this, you know, I think that there needs to be a conversation with people from community and the councilwoman, like a real grown folk conversation. Because these seats are very serious, right? And now we got to have conversations about what we're prioritizing to make sure that, you know, things happen for North Omaha. That's what I'm thinking about, the actual roles of these positions. And so I think there needs to be conversations, and I think everybody involved needs to be able to take constructive criticism, and we got to find a way to move forward. But I appreciate Cheryl Weston, and that's why I'm trying to get her on our neighborhood executive council.
Oh yeah. Sisters Active Conversations with Cheryl
Yes,
Weston. Definitely check her
yes.
out. Check her
And she
out.
pushes back.
Yeah. I mean, but that seems to be an issue. And you know, as you're kind of breaking this down, I'm thinking about you as, you know, ED of One Omaha, and I'm thinking about all the other you know, brothers and sisters that have lost leadership positions over the last couple years. A lot. And now it's looking like Councilwoman Juanita Johnson might be up next. And now we got you getting a letter of people wanting you to step down from races and positions that you're going for. So, you know, you got to look at the full picture. It's very interesting as far as just the opportunities for Black leadership in the community are dwindling, it seems like.
And you know what? Before we get any further into this particular subject, because we can kind of talk all show about this,
Yeah.
I don't feel like we spend enough time talking about you and your race, the race that you're in right now. You're trying to be on city council. We talk about the letter saying don't
School board.
go.
School board.
I'm sorry, school board. You're talking about the. She's like, I ain't doing it.
No, don't put that on me.
They
See
ain't
how they
ready.
get down.
They really
You
will
see
make
it.
some rules if you get on there. They're gonna.
Yeah.
They ain't ready.
You running for school board, and we talk about people sending anonymous letters saying don't. We talk about what experiences you had when you were in elected positions before, but we don't talk enough about what. Let's talk about what you're running for, why you're running, and what you're gonna do when you get on the school board. Let's focus on that. I'm tired of focusing on everybody that doesn't want, that's trying to get you out of everything all the time. You the best person that I know that would go in there and care about them kids like nobody's business. And you've been close to the situation. You've been on it before. You've been on the school board before, and so you see what's going on. You had a long history, years of paying attention to the school board. Even when you're not on the board, you're at school board meetings. Let's talk about your run. Let's talk
The
about
only candidate at school board meetings, by the way.
There you go.
So, you know, I don't have a platform. I've been going to the school board meetings. You know, I'm excited to come back for one. You know, when I was on school board before, I was very new, right? And the level of learning that I have experienced since that time, you know, I didn't really think about it. And one of the, not the last school board meeting, but I think the one before that, I was going through the budget like before the meeting, and I was writing down all these questions. And I just thought to myself, damn, like when I was on school board before, I didn't think of any of these questions.
right.
You know, I think it's from being an executive director, understanding budgets and accounting the way that I do now. I told the school board member, because I've been meeting with the ones who've had time to meet with me, When I come back, I want to serve on the budget committee, right? I think that's very important, especially as we're talking about everything happening at state legislature. Just as we talk about following the money, I just think it's very important. I've told you before that the school board has a budget larger than the city of Omaha's general fund. And so it's just something that I definitely want to pay attention to. As we've hired as a school district, has hired, a
Speaking
new
into existence.
superintendent,
Mhm.
has hired a new superintendent, Matt Ray, who I've always gotten along with. When I was on the board, Matt Ray was the secretary. And one thing about him, and remember, like when I was on school board before, I was on there during COVID. So we went from, two people coming to school board meetings to like 30. Okay. And so Matt, as school board members, we don't know everything, right? We do a lot of connecting because something I learned is that, well, one, we don't know everything because we're there for three reasons: the budget, the superintendent, right, and policy. But also, I learned during that time that Matt Ray was very responsive because, honey, I was getting several emails a day. Okay. And we don't know everything. So we have to rely on administration and different people to point us or the people we're trying to help in the right direction. And so Matt was always responsive. But I also understood that, every person calling me didn't necessarily want me to fix the problem. They wanted me to hear the problem that they had because people weren't feeling heard. So I'm excited to come back to be able to listen to people. I still have teachers and people coming to me who tell me, when you were on the board before, you always responded to me. Thank you for doing that, because other board members ain't doing it. And that still happens now. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to dive into this budget. I've been thinking about maybe the legislative committee. I'm not sure yet, but the last board meeting, they released these scores, the suspension and expulsion scores and the dropout and graduation rate scores. And they were horrible, just absolutely horrible for years 2022 to 2023. But the amount of information they released, I hadn't seen that before. You know what I'm saying? Like the data, right? All that data they released, I was sitting there like, this is my first time seeing all this data. And I know that's because of Matt Ray too.
I was going to say that's the new superintendent,
Has
right?
to be.
Right.
I got teachers telling me, Kimara, we never had this much engagement with the superintendent in the last 10, however many years. They say they're being included in meetings, what I'm saying, being felt, heard, and listened to. And
let me jump in right there because I'm just excited. I'm excited, first of all, about all the things that you've learned since your last run. First of all, you learned just by jumping in, and so you learned so much when you were in it in the first place, and then you're taking the experience afterwards to come back with it, and you're excited about the superintendent on top of that. Like, man, I'm excited.
And I wasn't, because during the interview with the superintendents, and I'll tell anybody this, and I told Matt, like, the interview was bad.
Really?
I was sitting there, I was like, what is Matt doing? Like,
Wow.
if I didn't know him, I probably would not have selected him.
What was the problem? What happened? What was the problem?
The answers were very short. I think he was nervous because I know Matt.
Do good under interview situation.
Man, and the DEI question was the worst one. I was like, oh, if I didn't know you, oh my God, we would have had somebody from out of town, y'all. Because I was just like, wow. And I told her, like, that interview was horrible, but I know Matt. And I know what my relationship with him on the board was like. I know what it's been like since then. And he's always been responsive to me. And he's kind of homegrown in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just homegrown in there. And I appreciate that, because leadership doesn't always come easy. It takes a real special person to just come into a position like, I don't know, Congress or something like that, and have no experience and just be able to do that job perfectly. I'm not saying perfect, but even just do the job, right? And so he's been kind of homegrown, and I appreciate when you have that sort of organic just growth that happens, and then somebody comes into leadership. I like that kind of leadership.
I hear that. Gwen Easter in the chat, she says, I'm tired of seeing our Black men and women leadership being targeted and being removed from positions. She's encouraging you to stay in the race, Kimara.
There you go.
Oh, I ain't going anywhere. Like I said, I understand representation. You know what I'm saying? I believe in fairness. I've been like that since I was a child. And if anybody knows me, including the person who sent me the email,
They said
because I
it.
know who you are, um, you know, you would know that I would never exclude anybody.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Anybody. I have done my best to raise the voice for South Omaha, which I have often felt like gets ignored, especially with Black people. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
when I got that email at first, I was hotter than fish grease. I ain't gonna lie. It was more so about hiding your name,
Mm.
right? The
Yeah.
only response I gave was, I'm just trying to figure out why you haven't disclosed yourself to me. Like,
They
why
don't
are you hiding?
they don't
It's
wanna talk
that
about
type of action I
right,
don't like.
yeah.
Like, I get the position, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? When I represent, I represent. And I'm going to be listening to everybody like I've always done.
Mhm.
So as far as that person sending me that email pretending to be a Latina, holler at me. I might come
Pretending
holler
to
at
be.
you,
Yeah, yeah,
actually.
yeah. You say
What'd you
You know
say
what
pretending?
I'm
pretending
saying?
to be?
But you know, it's kind of
Wait,
disrespectful.
we gotta back up. You said pretending to be a Latina. Do you know
Well, they
something about
said they were Latina, but from the information I have received, they are Latino, not a woman.
Oh, okay, okay,
And
okay.
so to try to place it on a woman to me is disrespectful as well. But I have several questions like, you know, are you essentially saying that a person of color should never run for mayor because Omaha is predominantly white?
Mhm.
Um, are you not upset with Margot who decided to run for state senate and leave the school board? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I've already stepped aside once,
Mhm.
right? Because a lot of people don't know this story, but Kimara Snipes was going to run for state senate. But it was more important to move somebody up here who is Latino, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So people
Mm.
can handle their business and do what they do. But I stepped aside one time already. I'm not stepping aside again. And if people think that's disrespectful, that's fine. But my name is Kimara Snipes. I stand on my work. I'm always going to represent everybody. And if anybody has any concerns, they can come talk to me. But I've been working my ASS off for this race, fundraising and everything else. And if you want to support a candidate that at least will come to the school board meetings.
Mhm.
At the very least.
Start. It's a start.
Um, I wanted to get your take on the letter personally. You know, I know you chimed into the chat and we talked about this Monday, and I'm glad to hear what you're thinking about, what you thought about it too. Anthony Rogers, right in the chat, is reminding us to be mindful, careful when calling people out on how they identify. Let's be mindful of that. I'm glad for
I
the
know the person, which is the reason why I said that. I know how they identify. I would never
yeah,
try to, do that to anybody.
Mhm.
So I
yeah,
just
yeah,
want to clarify that, which is why I said it and felt safe enough to do so. But thank you for the input, Anthony. I appreciate it.
yeah. I appreciate the reminder. Also, but also didn't want to. I wanted to get your word on it, but then move past it. We didn't give this person who sent this anonymous letter enough time.
Mhm.
I'm really
I
more.
will say this though, one last thing though. You know, I'm getting a little tired of the consistent, because it ain't the first time,
Mhm,
Mhm.
messaging,
right.
right? Because there's a message in this. And the message I'm hearing is that Black girl, you don't really belong over here. That's what I'm hearing.
Right.
Okay.
No, we
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm from South Omaha. Omaha is a very diverse city, and no part of this city is a monolith, period. And when I walked out of my neighborhood at 5415 South 30th Street, all I saw was me, except for my neighbor. And that's all I got to say about it.
And about that, like you've been, as long as I've known you, that's been a thing that's been weighing on you. You live on the South Side, you represent the South Side. You feel like they've been trying to push you out.
Mhm.
There's a lot of Latino brothers and sisters over there. You're the main one that always talks about bringing North and South together. You done made my language turn to East Side because
Yep.
we're all on the same, all in the same gang. But so at this point now, I kind of hope that you are in this situation where like, well, they obviously are trying to do that, but you're gonna keep fighting and stay in it, which you show by your actions. I wish that it wasn't affecting you, affecting your heart so much on that, because I'm talking to everybody who's doing anything, especially if they're running for any kind of public office and they're getting so much kickback. I personally would have a hard time running because of how much kickback everybody gets in anonymous letters and messages and things that happen. That's trying to
Against.
push you out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can all we can do here is say that we got your back, and everybody who's down with First Sky Omaha got your back on all of that, and I just want to keep bombarding them with this message that you go and run. Who
Oh
just said
yeah.
it in the chat? Mama God just said it in the chat. My name is Kimara Snipes, and I'm running for school board. Drop the mic.
Drop the
Drop the
mic.
mic.
Drop the mic.
So that's what I want to talk about more because people need to understand that. I haven't talked to anybody that has been running that has as much experience. We've had conversations with Miss Brianna Full. She's young. This is her first time running, for her first time in the space, and she's learning as she goes. She in that position that you were in when you were first running, learning about what's going on in there. But you are coming with years of experience with this, and I think more people need to understand your experience and so that they can understand why they need to be voting you in a big way. Unless I forgot to tell people that we're now in the second hour. It's 8:05. If you believe in the concept of time,
There you go.
we're gonna keep her on so we can keep speaking with her for a little bit more. Miss Kimara Snipes in the house. If you just joined us, appreciate you
I
coming
like my
on in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, we like your name too, for sure. What we're talking about right now, like we had to get a few little items out, little house cleaning done
Mhm.
to find out how she felt about a few things. But I really want us to focus on that. I really want us to focus on the fact
Actually,
that go ahead.
yeah, I have some questions on that. I like
Thank you.
that you're taking us in that direction. I appreciate that. You don't want to dwell on things. And yeah. Let's speak to it. And I am curious as far as just not seeing it in the news, but support. Who are we talked about who's hating? Like who's actually supporting the campaign? Have you received any
Yeah.
endorsements that you want to share? I know we've sat there and seen you get donations and things. How is the fundraising going? What is that situation looking like?
I haven't asked for any endorsements.
Hmm.
You know, what are they to me? It was one thing when I ran for mayor, but for school board, I've really just been trying to go to the meetings so that way, if I do get elected, I already know what's happening. I can just kind of jump in and hit the ground running. Fundraising, somebody told me I might be the second highest fundraiser for a school board race. People don't
Wow.
really do a lot of fundraising for school board, but I've raised a little over $8,000.
Okay.
So I'm going to be getting some literature done here and be knocking on doors. I had my good friend Gary pull some lists for me. I don't really have a big campaign or anything like that. Everybody's busy out here. It's just been working, which is fundraising, which is going to these school board meetings, meeting with school board members. I've pulled, so at One Omaha, this has nothing to do with the race at all. But for me, one of my I don't know if it's a dream or whatever, but I've just always saw this connection, with neighborhood groups in schools.
Oh yeah.
Even my old neighborhood, was Highland South Indian Hill Neighborhood Association. There's a Highland Elementary, there's an Indian Hill. To me it's just like natural connection. And so one of my goals for sure when I'm on school board is to continue to push that connection, right? Through work, which is a separate hat. We're creating this neighborhood executive council, and I spoke with Matt Ray about getting someone from OPS onto that, right? Whatever other school districts are within Omaha, I'll be talking with them as well.
Right.
And again, that to me is that connection piece. I remember being a child, what I'm saying, my mom, when she knowing my mom was going to come up to that school, it did something to me.
Oh
Mm.
I
yeah.
think that when your children know that you are involved, it does something to them as well. Like I always talk about this asset-based community development, the 5 assets. We have our people, we have our associations like PTOs, PTAs, neighborhood groups, church groups, whatever, our institutions, which are our schools, right? And our people are our assets. I always talk about getting them engaged with one another. And so when that happens organically, this change starts to happen in growth. It's not overnight, but when it's consistent, that change does happen. And I always use myself as an example. Because, honey, I was full on in poverty when I was started going to these neighborhood association meetings. You know what I'm saying? My son's father was gone to the feds. I was out here by myself, and Grandma Harris pulled me in. and I learned these different things and I met these different people. And when I talk about building like this meaningful sense of community ownership, that's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens to you automatically over time when you're coming together consistently. And so like yesterday, and I'm sorry if I keep going, but we had National Night Out. That's
I'm gonna get
something
into
we
it.
did all the time in South Omaha, right? But now that I'm at one Omaha, let's try to do it a little bit bigger. So I got some national funding, and went and did some canvassing. Going to do 3 more weeks of canvassing between now and October to get people connected with their neighborhood alliance, but not just coming to your door one time like a lot of these elected officials like to do. You know what I'm saying? But instead going 4 times to build that relationship, get them connected with their alliance. And even if 10% of the 1,500 doors that we're going to hit in North Omaha, even if 10% of those people come, you know what I'm saying? That's still doing good, right? And now you have this space where people can come together and understand process and meet their neighbors and meet their elected officials, these people making all these decisions for them every single day,
Mm-hmm.
right? They can build their capacity. They can take that information back and build those people's capacity. And again, that fourth one of just building that meaningful sense of community ownership. So for me, everything's connected.
Mm-hmm.
If you do the Gallup strengths, I don't know if anybody else does that. Lots of people do. My number one is connectedness,
Mm-hmm.
right? So everything is connected to me. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And Matt Ray did say that he expects these scores, these graduation and dropout rates. He says that the numbers that are supposed to come out, I think he said it was this fall, should be better. But I've got about 80 questions I'm waiting for answers on for stuff I've been hearing during these meetings from my current representative. But yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate that. I think everybody is feeling like we're feeling like right now. Whitney Richardson is saying, "Let us know how we can support your campaign, Kimara. We all want to see you shine on that board."
Yep.
What I'm hearing, I'm going to just tell you what I'm hearing because I've been into this. I've been thinking about this thing and reading these books on the kind of people that we are. I'm seeing you as a technician. I'm seeing you as a person that goes in and does the work. Put your head down, do the work. Don't forget about the marketing of yourself and the telling of the story of the work you do, though. We can help with that. Other people see that they want to help with that too. This is a race, so you got to convince some folks. So a lot of people ain't voting just because you're a person that they're watching
That's
you
why I'm
stand
going
on
to be
your
knocking
word.
on these doors.
Right.
There you go.
A
There
lot
you
of
go.
people
To
ain't.
the voters.
A lot of people are not going to be looking and saying, "Well, I'm seeing all this work she's doing, so I'm gonna vote." Like you got to get in their face sometime too. So I appreciate your going right to the people, talking right to the people, face to face, living alive with one another always works. And also, but take advantage of the Whitney Richardsons and us and everybody else that they can spread the word for you as well because this is the race and you need that publicity. So don't forget about them. Go ahead and spend a couple bucks on them yard signs and do what you got to do because that's where the race is ran. So.
Yeah. Are you taking volunteers? Is there any information how volunteers can reach out?
Sure, you can just reach out to me.
Okay.
My number is, and I'll be giving out my number, y'all. 402
I was about to write it down too.
6627. Send me a text message because I might not answer.
Give me an email address. That's better. That works for me.
Kimara.snipe, no S on the end, because I made that before I got my name changed, at gmail.com. Kimara.snipe, no S on the end, at gmail.com.
Got you.
Okay.
Brother
And
P, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It has nothing to do with this. I do want to share something with y'all before I go.
Please go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I had it was already on the calendar. Me and the neighborhood alliance leaders were supposed to meet with MUD and OPPD last week. I had no power and MUD was on my street doing lead removal, so I kind of felt like maybe I was just supposed to be there, so I still went. But MUD is gonna be. They have like this project they're working on, right? The lead removal. They say it's gonna be like 10 years, and so they're gonna be looking for contractors. And so just spread that, trying to help people get their money. They're gonna be looking for contractors to help with this work. And so that long of a project, that's even time for some people maybe to build up their business to be able to take part in that. But I just would hope that some of our businesses in East Omaha would get involved with that.
Big time. Think about the airport too. They're redoing the whole airport.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lots of work out here, man. We need to start a whole First Sky Omaha work line or something.
Man.
Lots of work and lots of Even at one Omaha, we're getting into the area of engagement. My thing is information, right? And
Hmm.
so working with these organizations to help them build their engagement plans because nobody's really getting it right. And
Yeah.
so there's lots of conversations getting ready to be happening around Highway 75 and how it tore up North Omaha.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
there's conversations around traffic safety, which people probably don't think a whole lot about.
That's
But
important.
my best friend, who I was in her wedding, she died in a car accident a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sorensen is a nightmare, and so is Ames. There's
32.
conversations that need to happen with that too.
I
Um,
lost two friends on bicycles accidents.
hello.
Lost a
Man.
brother on 30th. Got hit by a car. Yeah.
So conversations like that too. So I'm helping them with that engagement through One Omaha. Spark CDI, they're working on this North Omaha Trail. There's the cities getting ready for the poverty elimination plan that they have to create. The
We got that.
comprehensive plan is happening right now. So there's a lot, and all of these things happening need our information.
Big
They
time.
need our input. So I got a survey I'd love to share with you as I collect some of this information myself too.
Please do. Please do.
Please.
Please do. Before you get out of here, I did want to pivot. You kind of mentioned it. I wanted to talk about National Night Out a little bit. We saw you posting. You're really kind of, as far as my radar goes, been the main one talking about it, the main one pushing it for really as long as I've been knowing you. So can you kind of speak to that, what it's about, and just how
Yeah.
this year went?
So I heard about National Night Out in 2015. They used to do this nightlight event.
Hmm.
And so National Night Out is this nationwide event. And I heard about it when I went to an Omaha 360 meeting. And it's about really helping with community and police relationships, right? Well, being from South Omaha, there was this history because South family was responsible for the killing of Jimmy Wilson, who was a police officer.
Mm.
Okay. And all these are people that I know. And so for me, in my mind, I was like, well, yeah, we definitely need to do something about the police and community relationships, but people ain't bad just because they're bad,
Hmm.
right?
Mhm.
There's usually something else going on. People are suffering from lack of access to resources, jobs, healthcare, and all these different things. So in my mind, it was like, well, why don't we do National Night Out? And I was working at Heartland Workforce Solutions at the time and bring in different community organizations, bring in people who are hiring, and bring this to the community. So as we talk about crime, we can really talk about being preventive,
Hmm.
right? And so it just started growing for us over in South Omaha. And when I got to One Omaha, I was thinking about it earlier this year. I was like, shoot, we could just do it in North and South Omaha.
There you go.
And so got this funding to go out to the neighborhood ahead of time, do some literature and stuff like that. But yeah, we did it in North and South Omaha at Upland Park in the same space. In North Omaha, we were at Family Housing Advisory Services in the parking lot. We had a host of organizations there. We had a DJ. We gave away a TV in North and South Omaha as well. And so, yeah, it was a good time. I brought some footballs and some hula hoops down there. So that way, the police weren't just standing there. They could engage and play with the kids and different things like that. But this is just an opportunity for people to come out, have a good time, have conversation. We brought the fire truck down, stuff like that. Best Burger was there giving away free beef hot dogs.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a good time. It
We
was
saw.
the first time in North Omaha for me, myself. But yeah, I think it's something that we could do every year.
Yeah, I was surprised to see it where it was. I didn't realize it was going to be in North Omaha. I saw Precious down there too with a camera, kind of showing off all the booths that were there. I saw her there. Anybody else in the chat? Go check out National Night Out. That just happened. When was this? Last night?
It was
Yeah,
last night, yeah.
last night. Yeah. Let us know if
It's the
anybody else.
first 2 August across the entire United States, except for Texas and New Mexico, which celebrated in October.
Hmm,
Okay.
Yeah.
that's what's up. Okay. I wonder how. I'm always skeptical. I don't know. I always get a little bit like, and we. This is so we can like get to know the police a little bit.
So
They
I
get
had
to
to
know
tell
us.
them too. They were parked there.
Like,
They
I
had
don't
the
know if I want to
cherries
go down there.
going. They were parked there. They had the cherries going. I said, "Hey, like, can you turn the lights off? Like, it kind
Yeah.
of like something bad is happening."
Yeah, if I'd have rolled down the street and saw them lights, I'd been like, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I was like, "Turn the lights off." And so yeah, it was yeah. So
So we need to help. We need to help you. When we do this next year, let us come in and help. Because we didn't hear about it till like last minute, like last
It was
weekend.
last minute put
Yeah.
together.
Oh, okay,
Mama,
got
yeah,
it.
It was
okay,
last
okay.
minute put together.
Mama
It was
God
just
saying the
something
same
like, let's
thing.
just do this and we can get who got a TV? Oh, you gonna give us a TV? Thank you. And
Man,
so that's why I said next year be much better. But
yeah,
it's
Okay.
a lot going on right now. So I feel and understand people who just get real busy. I'm trying to figure out, okay, what can I stop? Because it's a
well,
lot.
it's just another thing that you do, another thing that you are the creator of and worker of in the community to get done, and for a purpose, for a cause. You're very out there with the way that you are trying to really bond the community. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I tell people all the time, you're the hardest working woman in community business. That's all there is to it.
Man, there you
Yeah.
go.
So that's what's up. I appreciate you coming on and filling us in on what's going on. We'll definitely have you back again soon. Talk more about the race, more for your run for school board,
Mhm.
and talk more about One Omaha too, and some of the efforts that One Omaha is doing. I'm glad to see that you went ahead and took it. Go ahead.
Speaker series starts next month at Benson
Oh,
Theater.
sweet.
And
Nice.
this year, Alex chose environmental justice.
Ooh.
Anthony Rogers Wright will be one of our guests.
Hey,
Okay.
I believe maybe in October. I can't remember exactly. But
I know.
so that starts next month. It'll be every month. We kind of talk about the history, present, and future. And then we also will be opening up our mini grant program too.
Nice. Keep us posted.
I
Yeah,
will.
please do. Appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you soon. Always a pleasure.
Thanks.
Peace. There you
All
go.
right, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to Miss Snipes, for real. Wealth of information, and I don't know, man. It's funny to think about, like, would First Guy Omaha even be doing what we're doing if it wasn't for her and her help and input and everything that she's about?
Nah, man. Teamwork makes the dream work, man.
Big time,
Her, Precious,
big
the
time.
senators,
Come on,
all
man.
of you. We appreciate it. This is a community conversation, man. Me and Paul can go off and do something else.
Yeah, for real. Often want to on the real.
But somebody gotta do it. Somebody gotta do the job, man. So yeah, we appreciate y'all support. We appreciate y'all, as always, just keeping us going.
That's right. We're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna keep it going into some more news, some more things to talk about, more discussion,
conversations. Yeah,
more conversations. We're gonna revisit the things we talked about in the first hour, so we can have more of a conversation here in the second hour. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
in the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Oh, Precious said love First Guy. Love you, Precious. Appreciate you.
Love you
Appreciate
too.
you.
Love you too.
We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're listening to First Guy Omaha Radio. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you
Hey.
chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, thanks for joining us and sticking around for the second hour, where we can have a little bit more discussion about some of the things that we were talking about in the first hour. And if you got any haps, let us know. Put it in the chat. Put it in Friends of First Guy Omaha. We would love to hear from you from that. I just want to give a quick shout out again to our sponsor, Drunk Ship Coffee. Go ahead and hit drunkshipcoffee.com and order your direct from Ethiopia beans, man. Birthplace of coffee. They source it from one farm in Ethiopia and put in a pretty exquisite roast on it. You do have to have a grinder because this is going to come in bean form, which is the best way to get your coffee, so you can know exactly what's in the grounds,
Man.
when you grind them. Shout out to this Black-owned family company right here, Drunk Ship Coffee, supporting us. If you want to support us, definitely hit us up. you can send us an email at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Let us know. As a matter of fact, it's election season coming up. I suspect that I need to go check the email, make sure that we we got some folks that are coming in trying to get the campaign running. We have to talk to you about that, Precious. Find out what's going on there.
Oh yeah,
About all those things. So yeah, shout out to everybody who's joined in. Shout out to everybody who's purchased coffee from Drunk Ship as well. They get amazed. They always get amazed out in California. Like, well, we got some Omaha, Nebraska. yeah, y'all do.
Yeah.
Yes. So shout out, appreciate everybody. I was looking for this. There's a GoFundMe for a family whose house burned down. This is the family.
Yes.
Where's that information at? Because I'm
friends of. I'll find that real quick.
I appreciate that. Yeah, just want to remind everybody that there's a GoFundMe out there. A family's house burned down after the electricity came back on. And Buddy's gonna find the information out real quick. Before I get there too, just to let you know, the fight still continues with public housing. We got the Fight the Tower shirts. You can also hit us up. Yeah, man, we're gonna have a link for you soon, but you can hit us up on First Sky. Just send us an email at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. We'll make sure that you purchase a shirt if you want to do that. Part of the proceeds are going to the Underwood Tenants Group so that they can continue that fight on making those conditions better with OHA. It's definitely a fight. They put money on their lawyers. We need to help them out as well, for sure. We also have another shirt out that we collaborated with artist Sky Ree on. And this one is called the First Sky First shirt. So appreciate him collaborating with us on that. And part of the proceeds here also go to the Underwood Tenants group so that they can continue the fight as well. Just hit us up. Like I said, we'll have a link for you here pretty soon. But in the meantime, if you want to get down, go ahead and send us an email at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com for sure.
Yep. And here it is. Found that GoFundMe. So I'll drop the link.
Cool. So, yeah, let's drop that link for the GoFundMe. We definitely want to help this family out. I can't imagine the situation that they've been in. Losing their home. We're so inconvenienced just by our power being out and everything happening the way it has. Man, it's kind of a trip because you don't be knowing how you gonna react when the power goes out. In my case, the cell tower went down. I couldn't even call out of the house. We got all this, index of 110-degree weather and people can't turn on the air. There was people's food going bad, a lot of stuff happening, but imagine coming back and your house is burned down after the power comes back on. You think you're going to get back to normal and then you hit this total loss. So there's the link right there in the chat. Help a family rebuild after devastating fire. Man, look, a mom with all these kids right here, man, definitely try to help. So please hit that link, donate what you can. Any little bit helps. You can see some people donating $30, $200, $20. Everything helps to try to help get this family back on their feet. Ronnie Mass is organizing this fundraiser. I'm not familiar who that is, but this is the official right here. So definitely help if you could.
Yeah, check it out. Just a little background says, about just after the power was on, after waiting on the power to return overnight and early into the next afternoon, the entire family vacated the premises. The power was restored sometime after, and a fire was reported around 5 p.m. Fire personnel described the casualty as a total loss and access is restricted. So again, they can't even get in to get any of the things that may have survived the fire. So again, they lost everything. Here's a kind of a list of sizes, clothes sizes, shoe sizes.
Nice.
Any information. There's also a Cash App link there as well. So if you want to kind of circumvent, I think GoFundMe takes a percentage, or I don't know how it works, but some people don't really like using GoFundMe. So again, if you want to send funds directly to the family, looks like there's a Cash App available as well.
There you go. Appreciate that. So yeah, please take note of that. We'll repost that in Friends of First Sky Omaha again as well, and definitely do that. Hit that link and help if you can. Mama God is reminding us that the Underwood Tenants Group is for all public housing tenants. Join if it applies to you or family members. We'll be getting in touch with Hassani Lee, who's the person that's heading that up, and we'll figure out from him how people can join and get in on those meetings as well. So shout out to Mama God for reminding me on that. Underwood's Tenants Group is not just for the Underwood Towers; it's for everybody who's affected by public housing. Everybody who's a tenant. It's not even just public housing. The fight is with OHA right now, but it's also with all tenants, all landlords, and they're putting something together so they can go over their rights and be able to speak to each other about what they are, people that don't know, and help people fight for them as well when it comes
Big
to
time.
that. So yeah,
Big time. A lot of useful information. Also, speaking of useful information, Mama God also in the chat says background story as to how return of power caused fire, helpful to others to avoid hazards after power restoration. And that's definitely a good point. I'm not sure. It doesn't say in any of the reports that I saw, but when you think about that, you do think of things like pilot lights. You think of things like, if you have any gas burners, maybe somebody was in the middle of cooking or doing something when the power went out, and then you just leave, with that stuff on. So that's kind of what I can think of. I'm not an official, I'm not an expert, but definitely when you think of what's going on, yeah, you might want to check pilot lights. You might want to check if you have any gas stoves, electric, space heaters, things like that.
Mhm.
Definitely keep that
I
in
don't,
mind as
I don't
well.
think nobody had a space heater on during that.
Well,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But the point is, anything that has a heating element in, if it's still plugged in and it turns on by itself, that may be a reason. They didn't give a reason yet
Mm.
why this happened. But I do remember speaking to my family, like, hey, let's let me go back and turn these lights off. Let me go back and turn stuff off, because if the power comes back on while I'm not here, you never know. Make sure I got an electric
Right,
stove. Make sure the buttons and knobs ain't turned on that wrong. You know what I'm saying?
man. Big time, big time.
Yeah. So anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it went down. These people need help, and we definitely are down to try to help them. So
Yeah, not
please, if
just them
you can.
though. Not
Mhm.
just them. Thousands are still left without power, according to
Very
Omaha
true.
World Herald. Just more than 5,000 people of the 218,000 who originally lost power following the July 31st storm remain without power as of Tuesday evening. So again, as of last night, just about more than 5,000 people still without power. That's according to OPPD. They say it received reports of scam callers claiming customers need to pay for reconnection. So that is an important thing to keep in mind with this situation. If you, a family member, a loved one, a friend, anybody still waiting on connections and they're receiving such calls, keep in mind that it's a scam. It is a scam. Nobody should be paying to, unless you didn't pay the bill and it was off before the power went out. Then that's a different situation. But again, if you're up to date with your bill and there's no kind of funny business in that area, then you should not be paying for any reconnection. So again, if you did receive any of those calls, please do not send anyone any money, especially our elderly brothers and sisters. They're kind of more susceptible to those types of scams. So
Yeah.
again, stay vigilant on that situation. But if you or anybody is having some issues with their accounts or bill status, or are in need of financial assistance, you can call 402-536-4131. Again, that's 402-536-4131 if you're in the Omaha area. And if you're outside the Omaha area, you can call 877-536-4131. Again, that's 877-536-4131 for information. Again, for those who are dealing with tree debris and things like that, reminding people there's information to look out for. There's actually a few sites. The city of Omaha is under the sink facility that's located at 4001 120th Street. Again, that's 4001 120th Street. That area will be available through Saturday for those needing to dispose of spoiled food. So if anyone has any food stinking up the crib,
Mm.
want to get rid of it, and wanting not to wait for your normal trash day for maggots and flies, and I'll spare you the details, but again, if you want to get rid of that sooner than later, you can go again to 4001 South 120th Street. That's the city of Omaha's under the sink facility to
Under
dispose of
the
spoiled
sink.
food. Yeah,
That's
under the sink. Yeah.
all right. I don't know if that's where you put your spoiled food, but nonetheless.
Yes, that's what they're that's what they're saying. Also, tree debris drop offs. There are a few locations. There are actually about 5 tree debris drop off sites. Will remain open until August 14th and are operating from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. So again, it's open up pretty much all day. The sites include Greenbrier Park, Heflinger Park, Levi Carter Park, Alves Park, and the football field at 156th and F Streets. Again, that's 156th and F Streets.
I find it. Go ahead. I find it interesting. The trees that are down. We in North Omaha, there's a lot of big legacy, big trees everywhere, and of course on the west side, they got hit pretty hard too, man. It's one thing. It's one thing that has bonded the north side and the west side right now is all the trees that are down because everybody got
Yeah,
them. So that's what's up.
yeah. Also, I did want to correct something that I asked on Monday about the governor not issuing an emergency, and I did find a report that he did issue an emergency on the 1st of August. So that was immediate, and I was just kind of worried about that. That was interesting, but
There you
yeah,
go.
that was issued. That's a good idea, Mama God. She's in the chat saying spoiled foods are great for compost. So if you got the garden out, at the crib, it's a good idea.
Right. Put a little, put it in a plastic container out there. Save it for the grass.
Yeah, there you go.
It's 8:34 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we appreciate everybody who's stayed around with us to have some more discussion here in this second hour. And I will post all this information, of course, on Friends of First Guy Omaha, so you can reference it again and call those numbers, get those trees out of the way, get the food up from underneath your counter. I mean,
Under the sink.
under the sink. It's a memorable name of a business though. So however that ties into to a food pickup, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah,
So
I'm not sure what that facility
yeah,
entails.
I remember it though.
Yeah.
She said trees down over here, Little Bohemia too, everywhere. Trees down everywhere. So the whole city kind of came together on that. If anybody has, what's the name of those kinds of businesses that deals with the trees? The arborists, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody has any ties to any businesses, they can clean up right now if they can get busy with it. Come over.
Actually, I do know a couple black-owned tree companies.
There you go. We need
Yeah.
one. As a matter of fact, hit me after the show because the tree at my parents' house needs to be trimmed because they just got away from the storm not knocking it into the house. So we're like, okay, let's take it now since we got away with it.
Okay.
So that's what's up.
Yeah. I'll reach out. Got some folks.
Man, thanks for joining us. 8:35 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, buddy, where you want to get back to as far as the discussion is concerned?
Well, actually, I did have one last thing before we wrap up the whole power situation. Shout out to Sister Tamika for dropping this on Friends of First Guy, reminding us about Big Mamas. Again, if anybody is suffering or has been impacted by the storm, you losing food, you just went grocery shopping. It was the beginning of the month. You try to stock up, and then this happens, and now you got to throw everything away. You might be in a tough situation. But again, shout out to Big Mamas doing good in the hood. They've actually teamed up with Black Men United. Senator Terrell McKinney's campaign apparently is a part of this, and also North Omaha Community Partnership. They are giving away free hot meals. So yeah, that's huge. That's huge for anybody looking for a hot plate. Meatloaf, chicken, pulled pork, and beef dinner. So you got options going down. Again, that's happening today, this evening, between 5 and 8 p.m. That's going down at the Essential Gathering Place. That's 5001 North 42nd Street. Again, 5001 North 42nd Street. I believe the Essential Gathering Place right around the corner from Central Park Elementary.
There you go, man. I love these partnerships that are happening here.
Yeah, teamwork making the dream work, man, and stepping up for the people. So again, a special thank you to Stacy Honeycutt of Essential Gathering Place and volunteers. If you were impacted by the storm in any way, you are welcomed. We are prepared to serve over 250 meals. So again, yeah, they got quite a bit out there. Go ahead and get your free hot one.
Yeah, that's what's up. I have to slide over myself, see what's going on.
Man. Come on, man. Big boy got to eat.
North Omaha strong. I like it.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, big shout out to all the organizations teaming up, coming together for that one. Yeah.
Right on. If anybody else has any haps, go ahead and put those in the chat as well. And on Friends of First Guy Omaha, we'll definitely be talking about it more as we go. So I just wanted to put one more reminder out there, man. It is election season coming up. Reelect Terrell McKinney for Legislation District 11. We just talked about Ernie Chambers stepping down from the race.
Yeah.
But there's still some action needs to be taken, which is the actual vote. So he's reminding us to vote November 5th. We just want to assume he's going to be up in there. We got to take some action and make sure that we get him back in there. So shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney for doing the good work. And hopefully he'll be able to continue the work that he started this past 4 years for real. So.
Yeah. Also, in the chat, they're giving us some information. Rome's Review says Under the Sink takes paints and aerosol and other stuff that you can't necessarily just put in regular trash. Nice. Also, Black Dynamite saying that as well takes stuff like paint and other chemicals that you don't throw away. So, yeah. Okay, some good information. If you have some chemicals and some other hazardous materials that you want to get rid of, there you go. Under the Sink. Check that out.
Mama God is us telling us the Asplund. Is that how you say that?
Uh,
Asplund.
you got it.
I never knew how to say that. I see the
Yeah,
trucks
yeah.
driving down
Hey,
the street.
uh,
I was like, oh, they go Asplund. I guess I
yeah.
don't know.
Hey, my
Anyway,
guess.
they're picking up limbs from the curb. We don't have any information on this yet. We do know that you're supposed to cut those limbs down a certain size and get them out to the curb. And some I think the trash company as well is going to come pick those things up. So
Maybe.
we'll see if anybody got any information on them picking up limbs. Please put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well, and we'll take a look ourselves. Anybody has any homeowners out there or any people got some trouble with those limbs? You got trees down? Anybody get their house hit by a tree? Let us know about your story in the chat. We'd love to hear about if anybody is needing any help with that. I know I had to go help a friend a single mom who didn't even have a chainsaw. Had to go cut up some stuff at the house. You know what I'm saying, at her house as well, because it kind of fell in the yard and it was just kind of hanging there blocking the driveway. So some people kind of need help. If you got a chainsaw, you might want to go over and just help some folks chop them up, move them to the curb at the very least. We can all use the help.
Yeah, man. Big time. So yeah, there's that. Big shout out to everybody who's presenting any information. But yeah, a couple other things to get into, I guess, before we get out of here. I don't know. Where should we go? We got a couple things waiting in the wings. Again, kind of want to touch base a little bit on Pillen's pivot. We've been talking about this whole special session property tax situation, and speaking of property, yeah, it looks like there will be some changes with that situation. Early on, Governor Pillen said that his goal was 50% reduction in property taxes. Now there's been a pivot away from his plan that obviously nobody supported. It looks like they're aiming for a more what's the word I can use? I guess just more tamed approach. Looking for now at 35%, as reports are saying,
The same.
property tax reduction.
They still
Yeah.
trying to tax people.
Yeah. It's still the sin tax, and
It's not the smart plan.
there you
I'll
go.
say that.
There you go. So yeah, there's that. I don't know how much more conversation.
Not much. We haven't even really talked about Kamala's pick.
That's kind of where I'm going next.
Things. But before we go in there though, I see a new name in here that maybe a ghost listener that chimed up with some info. Tony Burkhalter. Appreciate you coming in.
Welcome, brother Tony.
Public Works Street Department will be out tomorrow officially to collect trees from curbs. Does not matter the size of the limbs. Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you for that. Do you know if the limbs need to be bundled?
Yeah,
you got to twine them up.
Good question. Probably not. I mean, if it don't matter the size, then they're not looking for a bundle. It don't sound like so.
Just grabbing them up.
Just get them off the street. Get them out of the way. That's for real. Appreciate that, Kimara. You need a nap already. You get up early, and by 9 o'clock need that first nap. I understand.
Mm-hmm. She getting in from her walk around this time. That's what it is.
Shout out to Celeste Butler too, man. I love the fact that she gets up and takes groups out to walk. I'm gonna get out there with you one day. Unless it's every time I see you, it's like all women. Is it all women's thing? Because I let y'all do your thing. But I think it's interesting that she gets up and does that. We got some other brothers in the north side, especially too, that get up and hit the gym at a certain time.
Oh yeah.
And I ain't quite ready for them yet. That's Brother Kasim and them.
Man, Captain Q getting down.
I'll be sitting there. Next show, I'll be sitting here like this. I can't move, but I'm gonna do the show. Captain Q put it on me.
Can't lift your arm up.
Appreciate that very much. She said Tony had a ghostwriter. Okay. Yeah. Oh, he's not. I said ghost listener, not ghost writer. No. Okay. That's what's up. I appreciate the information. Anyway, yeah, we got a few more things to talk about, and again, this is the part of the show that we are going to have more discussion about some of these things. We recognize that earlier in the show, you guys we were definitely talking a lot about some of these other subjects. I'm gonna see if I can even find them again, but we're kind of going in pretty heavy on some of the first stories that we were talking about. Let us know if you want to continue to talk about those. Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts? I know Kellogg's was one of the big ones that it felt like there was more conversation around that. Also the juvenile justice situation.
Yeah.
What's on your mind, man?
Yeah,
how
man.
you feeling?
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like we had some discussions that we kind of put that stuff out there already about whether or not if say you work for Kellogg, you got family that works for Kellogg, how are these things affecting you? We'd love to get some testimony from people it's affecting directly. We know how, and more commentary on how things are going to affect the area because of the fact that this plant is closed down. It's kind of the big news in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Other big news is a Kamala's pick, who I guess is a native Nebraska, and is a governor in Minnesota. He got picked. What's his name? What's
Walz.
his name again? Tim Walz.
Tim
Okay,
Walz.
so yeah, and people are talking about him a lot. People are saying, they weren't expecting that pick. A lot of people I've been hearing happy about this pick. Apparently they were out in Pennsylvania or somewhere campaigning together, and he kind of spoke up on Trump and some other things. So that's what's up. Any comments about the pick? Anybody let us know what you think about that? Jim Tim, man, Tim Walz. Tim Walz kind of one of them names too. I'm Tim Walz.
Tim Walz, Jim Tim. Fred now.
Tim Walz is between y'alls.
Yeah. So as far as I guess he does have some connections. Wasn't necessarily born in Nebraska. It says he was born at West Point.
Here we go. Anthony Rogers. I knew he was going to chime in. Anthony
Oh
Rogers.
yeah, brother.
Swag.
Yeah, brother Anthony Rogers. I actually want to kind of get into your article that you posted on Friends of, but just a little bit about the person because I don't know much about him. This is the first time I'm hearing, but he's running for VP, so little information. Again, he was born at West Point, spent a lot of his adult life apparently in Nebraska. He graduated from Butt High School. Not sure where that is. Butte. Thank you. Hey, again, I had no idea about these places. Apparently, he served in the Nebraska Army National Guard for more than a decade. He also went to Chadron State College. He and his wife also taught school in Alliance before they moved to her native state of Minnesota in '96. Walz once said of his days at Chadron State, "We got a great base for future success. I believe the record shows that we have been able to go on and compete very well." So, yeah, again, I don't really know much about Mr. Walz beyond that. I don't really know. Guillermo giving us some information. Again, Guillermo more familiar with the rural side of Nebraska, saying he grew up in Valentine and Butte, Nebraska. Okay, thank you.
Anthony Rush is right. So, like I said, the thing I hate most about this pick is that Chris Farley is dead because that would have been a hell of a SNL skit.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're gonna find somebody. They'll find somebody.
Yeah, rest in peace, Chris Farley, man.
Yeah. Watch PA Deal. He seems down to earth, the humble spirit. Teacher, coach, military. I mean, he's checking off all the boxes for people that want that kind of dad energy, Midwest value type of thing. They think it's going to be important because this battle is going to be really fought in the Midwest in a big way. Only thing that I ever knew about him was the Prince thing. Man, he
Oh, okay.
This is him standing outside of Paisley Park. Apparently, he dedicated a 7-mile stretch of road of highway that passes Paisley Park and dedicated it to Prince. Wrote it in with some purple ink and all that good stuff. So I mean, that's my friends out there are very, very happy that he's the pick. They feel like he's one of the most liberal dudes that she could have. I just wasn't expecting him to say Butt. I just wasn't expecting him to say Butt High School. Butt High School. I like it. But yeah, so Butte, yeah. So we don't know. This is a new announcement. How do we feel about it? What does it mean? A lot of people are about it. I did hear a couple reports about some people saying how he's acting now is not how he was acting before. NRA and the Republicans and stuff backed him before. He was kind of a different dude, and then he kind of changed up. So I don't know when that happened. I don't know, but interesting choice. People are very, very excited still. I knew we were going to have Anthony Rogers Wright and some other people on the chat coming in saying, the whole thing is messed up, which it still is, but also people are also very much excited about Miss Harris and feel like this is a good choice as far as a running mate is concerned, and excited about the ticket, man. They're neck and neck with Trump now just because of all this money raised and publicity and everything that's going on. So
made some changes. They definitely made some changes, and apparently shout out to Marianne Williams also posting on Friends of If he does become vice president, there will be some other firsts. Not only will Sister Kamala become the first black woman president, but also who will replace Mr. Walz will be the first Native American governor. So
Exactly.
that'll be interesting as well. I believe her name was Peggy Flanagan.
Hmm. That was one of the way that I wanted to even really approach this is understanding what was going to happen, because that's kind of news to us. It's even more news. Peggy Flanagan being might be the next person. So yeah, it's interesting all the way around. I don't know how much the discussion you guys want to have about it, but I think it's here. What do you guys
Okay.
feel? What do you guys feel about the choice? Marlon Harrison says he fought hard for a free lunch program and doing a lot for the foster care program in Minnesota. So there's some more information about him.
Okay.
Anybody fighting for free lunch reminds me of some Black Panther energy. So with that, so yeah, what do you know, and how do you feel about the choice? I guess
Yeah.
we can leave that open ended and talk about it another time.
Well, I'll just kind of put it like this: as far as I'm thinking of just Minnesota as if under his leadership as the governor, you look at Nebraska under Pillen's leadership, and that might be telling. And I am thinking of just like, okay, Minnesota is a state that did prosecute the killers of George Floyd.
Hmm.
That's a good sign.
They still got
As
a lot of problems out there in
Yeah, they
Minnesota.
do. That's also what I'm thinking. That's also what I'm thinking. Brother Anthony Rogers is right. Actually, the article that he posted in Friends of is kind of pointing to the wealth gap that exists in Minnesota. Actually, I think that's what he just. He posted something else as I'm speaking about it in the chat. Headline reads: Wall vetoes bill adding protections for Uber Lyft drivers. He says, unfortunately, he vetoed a bill that would have raised rideshare driver salaries. So again, I'm not sure about his politics. We'll definitely look forward to learn more about him. And yeah, if anybody has any input, if you know anything about Minnesota's politics, have any family out there, let me know.
Yeah, good one. One thing that I did want to let's see. I did want to one of Mama guys say, well, Don Lemon is saying
The coach versus the couch.
that was funny. I like it. I like it. Yeah, appreciate all your information there. Anthony Rogers, right? Expounding on that. Guess who the lawyer was for Uber at the time? Kamala's brother-in-law. Interesting.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Brother Pena, though, is feeling energized. Says, I feel great and I feel energized. I don't like that we are going to lose anymore. I don't feel like we're going to lose anymore.
Okay.
A lot of people are echoing that sentiment for sure. One thing I forgot to bring up here before we get any further is I got a call from one of our chat chimers a little earlier about this meeting coming up that I hadn't heard about. So I appreciate you bringing that up. I think it's Von Chapman. Von Chapman is the one that brought this to our attention. There's an urgent Omaha Housing Authority all tenants meeting that's happening. It says that the sponsors are and community advocates are Sherman Wells, Cheryl Weston, Asani Lee, Paul Philman, and Von Chapman. So this is the first I've heard about this, but this is supposed to be coming up August 11th, 2:30 to 4, A.V. Sorensen Library, 4808 Cass Street in Omaha. The agenda is the discussion of the bed bug prevalence in OHA living units, as well as other community living and business spaces. So they'll be having a discussion. We'll be also having a discussion with OHA tenants. They wanted us to get the word out here so they can get more OHA tenants to come out and speak up on this situation because they've been being blocked as far as being able to speak to tenants again. There's been some block on speaking to tenants, and I've heard a few people say that tenants are starting to get a little nervous again. There's been the retaliation stuff doesn't stop, so people are sometimes a little scared to speak up, and we got to keep reminding people don't be scared to keep up. There's some you're gonna have some back. You're gonna have some people that's gonna try to help with this, and hopefully the Underwood tenants group maybe can even be a part of this too. If I see Brother Hassani Lee's name on this, then maybe that's already the case. So,
Yeah.
so go ahead.
Yeah, that's a A.V. Sorensen. So that's Underwood.
That's Underwood, right? Okay,
Yep, that's
okay,
Underwood.
got it. So there you go. Urgent Housing Authority, all tenants meeting coming up. They say please carpool. I like that. Sunday, August 11th. Yeah, because there probably won't be a lot of parking around there as well. Who's invited? Only tenants of Omaha Housing Authority housing units. That's who's invited. Does that mean that other people who are not of there can't come and support? Let us know about that, Brother Chapman, if you're still on. But this is 2:30 to 4 o'clock. Like I said, we'll be checking in with Brother Hassani Lee here shortly as well. He says this is a special guest speaker, and this is the person that I've heard his name before. Jeffrey Lipman is an attorney. I was told to do some research on him. He's somebody who's a frequent speaker on these matters, and also Steve Wandro is going to be speaking as well. So a couple guest speakers for this, and they got an agenda, the same agenda that we're on. We're really trying to help people have better conditions, especially in OHA towers and other places. So shout out to Von Chapman to bring that to my attention earlier this morning, because like I said, this did not cross my radar yet. So appreciate this meeting. We'll put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha and try to speak to as many. If you got family members that are tenants, especially in the OHA towers, then please let them know so that they can come and speak and be a part of this as well. So there you go. Just wanted to. I was gonna do that early and forgot. So I would make sure that we do that before we get out of here for sure.
Okay. Actually, it's about 6 minutes left in this thing. We got any more haps? Anything else we want to reiterate?
Yeah, good question.
I got a few, but
go ahead.
Okay. Well, yeah. There's a few things going on. Again, big shout out to everybody who's posting these things on Friends of First Sky Omaha. Again, I mentioned it earlier, but would like to reiterate as far as the Big Mamas situation. Again, that's going down tonight from 5 to 8 at the Central Gathering Place. Again, that's 5001 North 42nd Street. Again, that's 5001 North 42nd Street at the Central Gathering Place. About 250 meals being given out, hot meals, meatloaf, chicken, pulled pork, beef dinners, you name it. Yeah. Come through, support, get you a hot meal, especially if you've been impacted by the power going out. Now, also, kiddies are going back to school. Everyone is getting ready and everyone is teaming up. There's actually a back to school supply drive because we know clothes, supplies, notebooks, book bags, that stuff can be pretty expensive. Actually, I just went school shopping myself. Book bags like $60, man. Yeah.
What kind of designer book? You better
man.
Better put some string around them books and look like the
old. Put some paper around the books. Yeah, so again, if you're in need of some supplies, there's a back to school drive going down this weekend at the Butler Gas YMCA. That's right there on Ames, a little bit down the road from North High. Again, that's from 2 to 5 on August 10th. That's this Saturday. Big shout out. A lot of organizations coming together to make this happen. There'll be free backpacks, free school supplies, also free food provided by Haven Express and X Factor Barbecue. Also free slushies by Island Chill. Also come through, get you a free haircut, groom services, providing that. Also physical exams provided for by Charles Drew, especially if you have any youth preparing to get into sports or any other extracurricular activities. You need that physical on hand, so you might as well go ahead and knock that out. Also, Kira Marche will be there doing face paints. DJ Scotty P down there on the 1s and 2s. It's going to be a drill team. Yeah, it's going to be a whole situation, man. So definitely pull up, show up and show out and support. A big shout out to Miss Erica Felt for dropping that on Friends of First Sky as well. So.
And Marlon Harrison, appreciate everybody that's dropping stuff in there on this. Apparently, there's going to be some performances. Another performance by Honey Band, the label. So
man,
I see some black folks holding guitars. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, man.
Playing instruments.
Getting down. Yeah. Also going down on the 10th, reminding people, again, the Juvenile Justice Forum is going down. We definitely want you to pull up and have your voices heard at this situation, especially in the light of the Juvenile Justice Facility, the $27 million Juvenile Justice Facility not opening and sucking up tax dollars. Something has to be figured out, but not just with that, our whole juvenile justice situation in general. So again, if you or someone you know is involved with community organizations, you have any programs that can benefit our youth, keep them active, keep them out of trouble, keep their minds growing, then definitely pull up to this. Again, we need your help. As it says, we encourage all community members to attend at least one of the meetings to assist Douglas County in identifying what our priority items should be for our next youth services plan. So again, we always ask who's making these decisions, who's coming up with these ideas, where is all this coming from? Now you have an opportunity to be that person, to be that source. Again, that's this Saturday, August 10th, between 9:30 and 11:30 a.m. at the Concord Mediation Center. That's 2910 South 84th Street here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Concord. Also, don't forget the celebration of life for Mr. Elmer J.
Yes,
Crumley is
yes.
happening Friday. Holy name, I forget the time and the date, but that's in Friends of First Sky Omaha too. Brother Harrison, if you're still, I see you here. Let us know. He says, speaking of Brother Harrison, he says, back to school supply drive at Butler Gas early last year. They ran out of book bags in less than 30 minutes. Whew,
Mm.
man, I guess so. At $60 a pop.
Man, I'm
But
telling you, man.
but yeah, we definitely hope to see you out there. Brother Crumley passed away recently, and it really affected the community in a big way. Shout out to everybody that posted about their experience with him on Friends of First Sky Omaha and on the show and talk about his impact. So we really appreciate everybody who reached out and said, this is news for us in a big way in our community. So if you want to celebrate his life, it's happening Friday. I believe it's at Holy Name, and I
Yeah.
have to get the time. Go ahead.
I got the information right here. Actually,
Sweet.
there's actually 2 dates. So there's a viewing on the 8th. So tomorrow there will be a viewing. That's at Holy Name as well, 2901 Fontenelle Boulevard. That's from 4 to 6 p.m. So again, if you want to make that, because people are expecting the funeral itself to be packed. One comment here says, "I'm expecting standing room only." Again, Mr. Crumley was definitely loved and has impacted many lives. So I'm expecting a lot of people to show up and show support. The funeral is on the 9th at 10:30 a.m. Again, that's at Holy Name Church as well, 2901 Fontenelle Boulevard. So again, tomorrow the viewing from 4 to 6, and Friday the funeral at 10:30.
There you go. Appreciate everybody who has put this information in a big way, man. Don't forget to tune in to Sherman's channel a little later on the night. He's going to be talking about his nephew here, the hero, DeAndre Wells, pulling people out of cars and things, and it's going to be celebrating him tonight on his show too. So tune in to Sherman Wells channel on YouTube and Facebook, and definitely participate in the celebration of this young brother, this young hero, right now.
Yeah.
So
That's going down tonight, actually at 9.
9 o'clock tonight.
Yep.
Check out
Facebook
brother.
Live. Cheryl,
Facebook
Cheryl,
Live.
Yep. Sherman Wells, Cheryl Weston. It looks like they will be having a conversation with the brother.
Gonna be great. Lots more hats to come. Like I say, we'll be posting those in Friends of First Sky Omaha, and also have a little bit of a segment on Friday for you to be able to check out. And if you got any haps, always let us know about them. We love to be able to spread the word and let people know what's going on, and really energize the community to show up to some of these things and support. And that always is how you can build community, living alive with one another. So appreciate you guys doing that already. And please continue to do that. It's about 9:01 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Yeah, man. Big shout out again to Sister Kimara Snipes for coming through and speaking with us this morning. Sorry to step on your walking time, but yeah, we appreciate you for coming through, speaking with us. Also, of course, big shout out to all of you, first time listeners, last time listeners, chat chimers, ghost listeners, monitoring spirits, all of y'all's. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love. We do it for y'all. If it was not for y'all, we would definitely be doing something else. But again, we appreciate it. We enjoy doing this, and we will look forward to continue doing this. Again, reminding everyone we have some other things rolling out. It's not just this. It's a full situation. Gearing up for another round of content creators camp. Also, we have a newsletter coming, a new website on the way, some other content that we will be dropping on our YouTube. So make sure you check that out. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Stay tapped in, because again, we're continuing, we're moving forward, and we're growing. And we're looking, for you to help us do that. So again, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. In the meantime, between time, again, we will not be broadcasting on Friday. So yeah, catch the replays on YouTube, on Facebook. Paul B, take us out of here, man. What you got to say?
I got to say, definitely, even though we're not broadcasting live on Friday, definitely look for some drops on Friday. We got some definite news pieces that we've been working on and putting together, and they'll be dropped on Friday. So definitely check that out. Be on the lookout. And spread the word. Spread the word. We need to get as many people over to YouTube right now as possible, because that's where we're going to be dropping a bunch of new material. So tell your friend, tell a friend, like and subscribe, do all those things. And we really appreciate you doing that for us. I want to give another shout out and thanks to Miss Kimara Snipes, hardest working woman in community business, for coming through today and always letting us know what's going on. Please look out for her if you're in the district. And get her on the school board, man. You would not go wrong by getting her on the school board in a big way. Man. And of course, don't forget to voting season is coming up in November. We start to spread the word now. It's got to happen now. So we're really We're trying to gear up and get people, make sure that you're registered and ready to go, so we can get Senator Terrell McKinney back in as well. He can continue the work that he's been doing for the past few years now. And District 11 has been for the better because of his work and his presence. So shout out to him. He's also just reminding us in general, vote November 5th coming up as well. So shout out, man, to everybody who is a part of this thing.
Actually,
go ahead.
Really quickly, man, we've been shouting out Senator Terrell McKinney, and I think he's got a pretty good grasp on his campaign, especially with brother Chambers dropping out. I want to give some love to Sister Ashley Spivey. Let's not forget about her as well. Big shout out to Sister Ashley Spivey. Again, somebody new will be taking over that seat as Senator Wayne is term limited. So let's not forget about that race as well.
Definitely. And we'll continue on with that. So shout out to everybody who's been a part of volunteering and being out here trying to help get this vote out, especially in our communities. We really, really need that. So really appreciate it. Kimara says, great show, y'all. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
It's always a great show when you come on as well. So thank you for showing up. And we will be talking to everybody soon. Thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And thanks to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you on all these subjects that are close to our hearts and homes and friends and family. So we really appreciate everybody who's joining on this conversation, because that's how it works. And we will definitely see you on Monday live again. Get ready for that. Also, I want to thank the people who have been coming in and becoming reoccurring members of the channel. People who are deciding to support us in that way. Man. $10 people, $25 people, $50 people. Can't thank you enough. This is how we're going to continue this and expand this as well. It's going to be from your support mostly. Other entities that think we're doing good work and trying to support us, that we get help from, but we know we can't count on that all the time. We would rather be counting on help from the people, help from your entities, your businesses, everybody who we want to connect with, the partners and everybody else. So everybody who is went to firstsky.omaha.com and hit the donate button and become a member and a sponsor of the channel, really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Please, if you have not done so and you're considering sponsoring us and helping us to do that, hit us up at hit us up at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Drop us an email and we'll be in contact with you. Or you can go straight to firstsky.omaha.com and hit the donate button and become a recurring member or sponsor. So thank you again. Really appreciate it. We'll see you on Monday. You guys take care of yourselves this weekend. Try to have a chill weekend now that we got our power back. Most of us.
That part. AC, y'all. AC.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means